Today we're going to talk about socialism and salmon. I'm not going to make this a political phenomenon. I just want to talk about this book by Ayn Rand. Ayn Rand. Call her whatever you want. Call her A. Yeah. She wrote this book called Anthem, and it's about individualism, and there's a character in it, and at the beginning they use the term we for everything, and they never say I, because individualism in this futuristic society is a crime. And I was thinking about this book, and I loved reading this book, but what it reminds me of in terms of food is the fact that a lot of people I know don't cook for themselves. Like, they'll eat out a lot if they're single, or only cook like a big, cool, fancy, or interesting meal if they have company over, or if their spouse is out of town or has to work nights. They don't cook special things for themselves. And I think that you should, because the individual, what you like is really important. And I love the time when my husband goes and does his boys' night thing, and I can cook whatever I want and not have to think about what he likes. I can make exactly what I like and make it special because I'm worth it. Today we are going to think about Anthem and celebrate the individual, and this book is also about love, so it's about everything that I love, and that would be salmon with a mango curry sauce over coconut rice. Okay, so the first thing I want to do is I want to start my rice, because the rice takes a little bit longer, and I want to tell you, a lot of people don't like rice because it doesn't have a lot of flavor, or they make it and they dump a bunch of crap on top of it and just, you know, mask the rice and use it just as a filler. You can make rice taste amazing. Now, I'm going to use some sesame oil and put it in the bottom of a pan, and this is going to get my rice ready. A tablespoon of sesame oil. And this is cheap and it tastes amazing. You don't want to use something like an olive oil because the olive oil is too sweet, and we're going to use coconut milk, so we don't want to add to the sweetness. We want to use nuttiness instead. Nuttiness. Let that heat up a little bit. While that's heating up, I'm going to measure out a cup of rice. You can make extra rice if you want extra rice, because this is a great thing if you want to make a bunch and then have it for lunch the next day. Alright, so I'm going, oh, it smells really good, like toasted sesame seeds. I'm going to put my rice right into the oil. Now, if you ever made boxed rice roni, you've made it. It's the San Francisco treat. It's the same idea where you start with the butter and you saute the rice and stuff. We're going to coat the rice in the sesame oil so it has a nice little sheen to it. I'm just going to let it toast. It's like you're toasting the rice. And what that's going to do is it's going to add that extra nuttiness to the rice, so that you can even serve this by itself and it'll be fantastic. I'm going to put that in a nice little layer and let it toast for a second. And while that's doing that, remember, keep an eye on it so it doesn't burn. I'm going to open up a can of coconut milk. I need a cup of coconut milk. Really, you could use your imagination on this rice. If while you're sauteing it, you could use olive oil if you prefer. You could add in some garlic. You could add in some rosemary, whatever flavor you want your rice to take on. All right, so you can kind of see that some of the kernels are light brown. That's perfect. Now I'm going to add my coconut milk. The coconut milk is in place of the water. Down. Turn down the stove because I don't want this to burn because it's still milk. And when you make rice, this is another thing to think about. To give it more flavor, you can substitute anything you can dream of for the liquid. If you would rather have chicken stock, you could do chicken stock. You could use canned soups or broths if you like that. You could cook it in like a tomato sauce. It will absorb any liquid, so you don't have to just use water. I'm just going to add in a little bit of salt and a pinch of pepper. And trick about rice, once it starts to boil, cover it, take it off the heat. I'm just going to let that cook. Okay, so now we're going to get ready to make our curry mango sauce. I'm going to mince up 1 clove of garlic. I'm going to cut up an onion, just like a quarter of an onion. If you don't like onion, you don't have to add onion. I like the flavor of it. I'm gonna chop up some onion. I only need 2 or 3 tablespoons of red pepper, so I only cut off a little bit, and I'm gonna save this for later this week when I make my spaghetti sauce. I'm going to use my grater and I'm going to grate up just half of this zucchini. Like, be a grown-up. Be a grown-up. The next thing we're going to do is dice up a mango. If you can't find mangoes near you that are fresh like this, sometimes you can find them like frozen in the frozen aisle, which is great because then you can only use what you need. You just got to thaw it out first before you chop it. But mangoes are great, and in Indian culture, the mango or the mango tree was thought to bring luck and love and good fortune and all that great stuff. So why not bring that to you? Mango! Alright. It's got a great texture, kind of like any kind of melon. You could use it in salads. You could use it in your fruit salad, which is like a nice, with some coconut, like some shaved coconut. It would taste so freaking good. So I'm just going to dice up, do a really rough chop on my mango. I want them to be small pieces for my sauce. My husband's favorite thing to say is, when are you going to make me mango chutney? Because it seems like on everything, like Iron Chef, on like all the cooking shows I watch, they make mango chutney. So I'm going to get my saute pan ready. I'm going to add a little bit of olive oil, because I do want this sauce to be a little sweeter because the rice is going to be more savory. Just put a little dab of olive oil, coat the pan. I'm going to add in, so I'm just making 1 serving. I'll probably add in about a tablespoon of chopped onions. I'm going to add in all of that mango that I just made, or that I made that mango. I grew myself. My red pepper. You'll notice it's really pretty too. Again, you want to do stuff that makes you feel good, and eating food that looks good and tastes good, forget about it. I'm going to put in about a half cup of the zucchini, and then we're going to work it. A little dash of salt. Death by cooking spray. Now what we want is we want the fruit to break down and get mushy and release its juices. Once it's been cooking for like a minute or two, I'm going to add in a little bit of ginger. You could use candied ginger. It would be really good if you could use fresh ginger. I'm also going to add in some red crushed pepper. Now this is spicy, people. Not everybody likes spicy, so don't add it if you don't like it, but I can take it. Can you? A little bit of that, just a little shake, because I want it to have a kick. Notice I'm starting to get like a little bit of a brown on there, a little caramelization. That's going to bring out more of the sugar and the sweetness of the fruit. It's exactly what we want. I'm going to add in my curry powder. The better it is, use the less you'll need to use. But I'm using about a tablespoon of curry powder. And here's a little salt. And I'm going to add about, a tablespoon or so of lime juice. How you want this is all up to you. This is more of a chutney. It's not really a sauce. So you could, and I think what I'm going to do is going to add a little bit of that coconut milk. It'll go nicely with my rice, and it'll make it a little bit creamier. Doesn't that look amazing? Holy crap. Okay, I'm going to take that off the heat, and it'll actually continue to break down. The fruit will continue to get softer. So I'm going to let that sit while I make my fish. I'm going to put that pan right on the heat. A little bit more of that sesame oil. You don't need a lot, just enough. I'm just going to work that into the oil. And I'm going to flip it over right away so I can coat both sides. And all I'm going to use on this is salt and pepper, because I have so much going on with my other stuff. I don't want to confuse the senses. If you didn't know this, French cooking, sauces were invented to mask lesser quality meat. So if you buy this amazing piece of Atlantic salmon, or your grandpa fished it out of the freaking river in Alaska, you might just want to leave the integrity of the salmon as it is. But we're going to put a piece of some sauce on it. Kind of a trick to meat that maybe is a little bit cheaper and not as good a quality. You can enhance it with all kinds of different sauces. While that's still cooking, I'm going to check on my rice, and it's perfect. Again, I didn't touch it, and you can see that. See how it's like kind of straight across? And it looks like it might be dried out, but it's not, because the second you move it or fluff it with a fork, look how creamy and amazing that is. If you don't like salmon, you could do scallops, you could do shrimp, you could do any kind of meat. You could really do a nice beef tenderloin. Filet mignon. You could do chicken, anything. I don't know why that makes me want to tap dance. Anything. My father-in-law hates it when I dance in my videos. That was just for him. Time to eat. Okay. I'm gonna take my coconut rice. Put it down the bottom. I'm gonna make it pretty. Little mountain. Coconut mountain. It's in the middle. Put my salmon right on top of that. And then my mango chutney, curry, whatever sauce. It's going to go over the top of that. Holy cow! Does that not look amazing? Try it. See the salmon's still just a little bit pink in the middle, just like I like it. Oh my gosh. You really do get this beautiful sweetness from the top with the creamy nuttiness from the coconut. It's so good. And it's filling and it's good for you. And this is definitely something that will keep, the sauce will keep. If you want to keep a little extra for your lunch tomorrow, you can like make your coworkers jealous or make your spouse jealous when they get home from bowling, or that's very old school. What do people do nowadays? And you can sit home and enjoy this amazing meal and feel good about what you put in your body and the fact that you treated yourself. And it doesn't have to be just a special occasion. It just has to be because it's you. So, go read Anthem. Be proud of being an individual and strong and wonderful. And this is a beautiful book about just celebrating the individual and love and yummy food. Well, have a great